Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank everyone for their excellent presentations and very diverse presentations. My first question is to Mr. Kiendo from the Canadian Art Museum Directors Organization. I'm very blessed in my riding of Davenport to have a lot of artists and creators and to have a number of museums, both small and medium-sized museums. And one of them is the Museum of Contemporary Art Toronto. And I worry about medium-sized museums across this country, not only in my riding, because I'm not quite sure. I feel that they have limited places to actually go and get some additional support. One of the things I'd love for you to comment on is, so we know that phase one of the 500 million emergency support from arts and culture has been announced. Phase two is yet to come. And one of the programs they're looking at is the Museum Assistance Program. Many museums aren't able to actually apply to it, and I think that I'm not sure that with the current criteria right now, whether MoCA Toronto would be able to. Would you suggest that? Is there some way we could maybe adjust that program that might actually make more museums actually eligible for that program? If you could address that, please.
Yes, absolutely. The program it's due for an overhaul, and traditionally there's been a division in funding between Museums Assistance Program and Canadian Heritage more broadly and the Canada Council for the Arts, where it often is the case where you're eligible for funding from one and not the other. The reality is most of our museum and galleries actually serve multiple roles, and they should be eligible both for Museums Assistance Program and Canada Council funding. I know our sector is really interested in having that conversation, and I feel like we could provide a lot of really productive ideas around how to broaden its accessibility.
So if just because we don't have a lot of time, and I have one small more question, then I have to move to someone else, but if you could write maybe some recommendations to this committee, I'd be very grateful. I think it would be very helpful to us. The second question is, I have one of your recommendations is around a match from the government in terms of, I'm assuming, private donations. Are you talking about a one-to-one donation? I just want to be clear on your recommendation.
Yes, it could be up to one-to-one. There is an existing matching endowment incentive program with the federal government. However, art galleries and museums are excluded from that program, and the rationale is not really that clear.
Which program is that? Sorry.
I believe it's called the Canadian Heritage Matching Endowment Incentive Program or something like that.
Yep.
There is 75% of art galleries have endowments, and over 90% of our members would support opening up that program to art galleries and museums. And I believe we have the support of our peers in the performing arts sectors to allow that to happen. Really what it does is people...
Thank you. Sorry about that. I do have to go just because I have very limited time, but I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate your point, and I think we've heard it loud and clear. Okay. My other question is to Ms. Amiot. One of the weird things, not weird, but one of the interesting things that we're hearing is there are a lot of people who've lost jobs, and then there's a lot of industries that desperately need jobs. So if you actually go to jobbank.gc.ca, there's actually a whole number of industries, healthcare, manufacturing, agriculture, that need jobs. And then there's going to be people that have completely lost their jobs in this pandemic, like the restaurants closed down or some manufacturing facilities closed down forever. And they need to pivot to something else. Do you see a role in sort of helping around training in terms of moving people along from training from colleges and institute? And if you see a role, what is it?
I will have to do it in 30 seconds. Sorry, Denise.
Absolutely. Upskilling, reskilling, applied research to help the industry to retool. And my colleague, Peter Devlin, could give you a specific example from Fanshawe and the community where they are.
Thank you.